I like the idea that these Norns are like reading universe changing things and they're like, and also Michael gets a ranch for
I
16
know.
horses. They're like, the world will continue to spin around the sun. Also, Tabitha has a big mansion.
Hello, and welcome to the Tabletop Travel Guide, the podcast where we explore fictional worlds and civilizations right from the comfort of our own tables. I'm Tyler, and in this week campaign, we had it was like a kind of one-off because we were supposed to do a new campaign, but then we pivoted at the last second.
For reasons that will be foretold shortly.
Yes. You will find out soon why we pivoted. But yeah, we did a session 0 of Claws of the Tyrant last week. And then today was supposed to be, I don't know, whatever day. This week it was supposed to be session 1. But we ended up switching to a different campaign midweek. So Keisha just ran a kind of camp clear out, and that was fun.
It was a quest that we ignored on our main quest and then went back and did.
Yes. She told me afterwards, she's like, man, I'm glad you guys ended up doing that because I spent a lot of time prepping all that and I was going to be sad if you didn't.
See, it all worked out.
Yes.
Fate.
You're right. It's foreshadowing.
Right. I'm Sam, and I participated in the side quest. I got to use a spell that I have been holding on to because I've been waiting for a big boss, and Keisha was like, well, this is kind of whatever off the side. So I got to use it just for fun.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I got to hit 3 enemy combatants at once. So that was exciting.
Nice. And you have a psychic, so it has less spells anyway. So you gotta.
Yes,
gotta
I know.
use
So I'm like, I'm holding on to that one for when we hit something big. So I was excited to use it.
Yeah. Okay, and you might be missing a voice today. Ryan, for the second episode in a row, could not join us. He is packing up, getting their house clean. They're getting ready to move. And it's going to be real sad because they're moving from like 1 minute away to like 2.5 minutes away by driving purposes.
Except this 2 minutes away, we can get to by sidewalk without having to cross a main road.
That's true. So farther drive and shorter walk. So with that, we have a special guest who you might remember from the episode of, I can't remember which one you were on, but it is Rodney.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm back. It's Rodney. I think it was the Mzali, maybe?
Yeah, Mzali. There it is.
Yeah. So I, campaign-wise, we cleared out a orc alchemist underground lab. We're doing 7 Dunes of Sandpoint, and our GM is kind of homebrewing Fall of Plaguestone to lead us into that.
Oh.
So
Nice.
we're going through that right now, and we just finished Season of Ghosts, so it's a steep drop off because I was playing like a level 15 rogue and now I'm a level 2 wizard, and it's not fun seeing these low numbers again.
Well, especially like low
we're getting
levels.
through it.
Yeah, and especially low level spellcaster, like
It's so hard.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna do this. It's like, oh yeah, it's 2d4. Okay, well, see you guys next turn.
Okay, I cast my spell and I move. Yeah, Fall of Plaguestone. Man, that's like, because was the like OG like first module created with Pathfinder 2. I don't think they finished the rules yet when they were making that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's very much, the GM that we're playing with is very much into like digging into Foundry and like getting everything set up. So it's been interesting to see how he's changed it to fit into 7 Dunes of Sandpoint.
Nice.
And I'm also listening to a Rise of the Rune Lords podcast. So it's like funny to see like Sandpoint characters in that like old 1E setting that are like, oh, I recognize that name from this podcast, but I don't know what they're doing here now. So
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I feel the same way for your campaign when we're doing Hell's Rebels, and we played Age of Ashes, which has a big section in Kintargo. So you're like, this is this character. I'm like, oh, I GM'd that character at one point.
yeah, no, that one's fun. Yeah, other than playing, I've just been prepping that one. So that's tomorrow if for whoever's listening. But yeah, we got some good stuff cooking for you guys. So
I like
I'm
it.
excited to get back into it.
So speaking of good stuff cooking, reminder, you can join us on Discord. Hit up the free Patreon, Tabletop Travel Guide Podcast, and then there's a link to the Discord there. We are, I don't know what we've been talking about most recently. I don't know. It's always all kinds of different Pathfinder stuff. So feel free to hit us up there. That's where we respond. But today we are continuing our spoiler guide series with Samantha's.
That feels weird. That feels very formal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Who is Samantha?
Who is Samantha?
Ooh.
Hello, Samantha.
I don't like it. Now I feel like I'm in trouble. Anyway, yes. So I will be walking you all through Stolen Fate.
Woo!
Which
Exciting.
I love. So not to set the bar like super high, but I really enjoyed reading this and then got so excited about it that I went, Tyler, I want to run this. And that's why we pivoted from Claws of the Tyrant, because as we all know with my motivation, I have to do it immediately, because if we wait too long, I will get tired and then be like, never mind.
Yeah, so we're going to do Claws of the Tyrant. Sam was like, oh, well, because we're doing Claws in between Season of Ghosts, book 1 and 2. And then we're like, oh, well, that'll work. We'll do mine. And then Keisha will do book 2. And then Sam will do Stolen Fate. And as Sam kept getting more and more excited, I was like, Sam, are you going to be able to wait a year? She's like...
And then I was like, oh, dang, that's how long it takes to do a book, isn't it?
Yeah. So
yeah, I can relate to that, because pretty much every system or new AP I read, I'm like, I'm getting excited about possibly running this. And I'm like, wait, no, you're playing in 2, you're running 1. You just take a beat and it'll be there when you have free time.
It'll be there. It's fine. Calm it down.
It's mostly just rare that I'm like, I want to GM. Like I get ideas sometimes, but I think most of the stuff I've GM'd has been homebrewy. So if I find an adventure path I like, it's like strike while the iron is hot. So
Well, I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
So I guess one disclaimer, too. I know we said, our friends sometimes listen to this. So if your name is Keisha or Greg or Andy or Letty or Chris.
So maybe if you're in our Thursday night group, because I feel like there might be several Chris's who are like, why can't I listen to this today? If you are in our Thursday night group and come to our house, stop listening right now.
Do not listen to this episode. We are about to run this campaign.
I told Tyler that for this, he's not allowed to play a charisma-based character in Party Face because he's going to know everything. So he has to play someone who's not going to talk, so that inevitably when things get screwed up, somebody else is doing it.
A big himbo that's just like,
Yes.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh my gosh, do you want to be Justin?
I could be Justin.
I was just going to say, if your name's Paul, this one's a freebie for you. Paul can't come to the phone right now, so call back when you get a chance.
What?
I don't understand. What's happening?
Never mind, we can cut this. But
I'm like, is this
it
a
was
joke
just
I
when you
should
guys
know?
were like, if your name is Chris, don't
Oh.
listen. So I was like, if your name is Paul, here's a free voicemail for you.
Well, it's funny now that I get it.
It's
Slow.
like, who is
It's fine.
Paul?
Should we know him?
We're fine. It's fine. We're on the
I had to
update.
think of a random name.
I like it.
All right. So, Stolen Fate. We're gonna level set a little bit, and I'll tell you kind of what we're working with. So, this adventure path is level 11 through 20.
Okay.
It's done in 3 books, which is sweet spot for
Yeah.
adventure paths, 3 to 4. So
3
These are-
book.
already things that I love. It's written for a party of 4 to 6, but you can adjust in either direction if you need to, but like optimal is 4 to 6. So where we start with this. So if you'll recall, the Age of Lost Omens is named such because prophecies can no longer be trusted.
Why is that, Sam?
Oh, I don't know. Potentially because of our BFF Aerodin?
Friend of the pod, Aerodin?
Yes.
Oh,
So
Aerodin.
Oh, Aerodin.
prophecies that claim to predict the future failed, most notably the one that said Aerodin would come back after he died. So now prophecy is unreliable and unpredictable, though divination magic does still continue to function. But the whole this will happen in the future now is not a thing that anyone is really trusting. So that's where we're at. So before we get into the actual action of the adventure path, like a lot of them, there's a lot of background information about who the players are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you who our main people are to walk through it a little bit easier. So our first group that we need to know about are called the Harrowing Three.
Okay.
And now, if you are wondering, harrowing, a horrible thing is about to happen, this is harrowing? Incorrect. We are talking about harrowing as in a harrow deck. And so, for Pathfinder, this is the equivalent of a tarot deck.
Okay.
So, if you're not familiar with what a tarot deck is, or a harrow deck, it is a deck of cards that is used to predict the future.
Is Harrow just Pathfinder? Because I know it's the take on tarot, but Harrow's not a thing in real life, right?
Well, that was my assumption, was it was
Yeah.
Pathfinder's take. I don't know if the same thing exists in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I'm not familiar either.
Yeah,
I know
real life is tarot though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So similar
Okay.
concept
Yeah.
where you have a deck and you do readings and that predicts the future. So our Harrowing Three
Okay.
are related to the Harrow deck. So this group of people is a Norn triumvirate. A Norn is a fey woman who gives cryptic prophecies. Hilarious.
Are these just the three oracles from Greek mythology?
Yeah.
That's
So
what-
very similar.
I thought it was.
Uh-huh.
I think it's the Norse equivalent, right?
Yes.
Because it's the same. I mean, every mythology has their three
Well,
women throwing out predictions.
It's so Macbeth, the three witches around the cauldron. So it's that myth in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Okay, so these three Norns, because prophecy has failed, they are motivated to create a powerful artifact called the Deck of Destiny, which is a Harrow deck, in an attempt to correct the issue with prophecies and allow destiny to be foretold again. The unfortunate possible side effect of this is everybody losing free will.
I mean,
Because it gets into the weird argument of okay, so if everything can be foretold, do you really have choice?
the free will predestination situation.
Yes, it is that argument. So the Deck of Destiny combines the Fey divination magic from the Norns and the Harrow deck. And people who use a Harrow deck are called Harrowers. So these are all of the terms. The Harrow stuff's going to come up a lot. During the creation of the deck, the three Norns rename themselves the Harrowing Three because that's the tool that they're using to get here. The deck takes them a century to create.
Oh, dang.
They have to harvest tons of magic from other planes, the great beyond, to invest in these cards.
Yeah.
Then they begin to prepare to actually use the deck. The goal is to do one massive reading that will foretell not just a possible future, but the future
Ooh.
for Golarion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deep stuff.
So it would seal fate moving forward, and then because of that, prophecy would work again. So it's like a weird chicken egg conundrum thing.
It's the what's the thing in Loki? The TVA do the
Oh yeah,
the
the
golden
timeline.
timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it essentially would do that. It would create, here's what the timeline is, and now because we've solidified it, now people can make prophecies again because we know for sure what's going to happen. So it's a weird thing. Unfortunately, so here's the big caveat for this. The deck is not actually powerful enough to do that. But it is powerful enough to cause a lot of problems if the wrong people get a hold of it.
So, not strong enough to help, just strong enough to F everything up.
I mean, it just depends on who's holding the cards. But the whole, like, can it cement, like, a complete timeline? No. Can it do some stuff? Uh-huh.
Okay.
So the Norns don't know that it can't totally do that. So they're still trying to finish the deck to be able to do the reading. Okay, that's our one group of people.
Okay.
Our second group of people are called the Unmatched, and we'll get to why. Here's their history. And because it's Pathfinder, we have to talk about like several randos that will become relevant later, but won't sound like they're relevant now. So just bear with me. All right. In 4648, an exile from Cheliax founded a group called the Harbingers. I hate that word. It's just a weird word. Harbingers of Fate. A secret society who believed that the events at the onset of the Age of Lost Omens were like a divine mistake. They have a holy book, essentially, called the Book of a Thousand Whispers, which details all of these prophecies that were supposed to have occurred since the Age of Lost Omens, and their group is focused on trying to get the previous prophecies to happen to like course correct, which is like hilarious. So if it was like somebody predicted like there's gonna be a cave-in in this town, they're gonna like go to that town and like construct a cave-in. Like, sure, we'll get there. Okay. They continue on as a society up until 4714. At this point, they're under the leadership of a woman named Aerodeath, who is the daughter of the original exile, named Aerodeath because Aerodin and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Aerodin died. Arrow death, not arrow life.
It's not spelled like death like that, but it's not. I wouldn't want that name. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Yeah. Very, very uncreative name.
She is leading them at the time of 4714 when the society itself kind of implodes. Because, unsurprisingly, none of these prophecies are coming true. They have not been able to course correct. Things are still not happening.
He's been working for 2 decades on that cave-in and has not been able to make it work.
Or, like, they are able to get some of the thing, like, they're able to manufacture it, but then it doesn't change anything else.
Yeah, it doesn't change
later.
anything else.
So, the group kind of slides into obscurity, but some followers still believe in the cause. Aerodeath ends up leading a mercenary band called the Band of Blades. So she's like, well, I gotta make money somehow. I guess we'll go be swords for hire instead. So enter our first antagonist for this path. His name is Drustin, and he was previously a part of the Harbingers. And he thinks there's another way to fix the Age of Lost Omens.
A third secret way.
Yes, he's like, I can come up with something to fix it. While he's in Varissia, Drustin meets a lady named Raven Nicoletta, who tells him that she foresaw his coming because she reads Harrow, and she has learned of the Harrowing Three and their quest to heal prophecy by telling the future. Drustin, super excited about this because he's like, oh my gosh, that's so right. The Harbingers, we were trying to fix the past. Of course, fixing the future. Duh. So he's like, great, I love this. So he's on board when Raven recruits him to go find the Harrowing Three.
Yeah.
So they track them down. They find them after the Harrowing Three have completed the deck, but they are still in the process of creating a case to hold it. Because as we know, with hugely magical artifacts, if you don't put them in a sealed magical box, then all bets are off, right?
Yeah. You just want a fancy box. Like, if you're going to make some fancy cards, you don't want them in like a thing of cardboard.
Right. You can't just stick it in a shoebox and be like, look at this thing I made.
Can you imagine, like, here's the deck of destiny. It's like, is that a Nike box?
It's the only thing we had around. Sorry.
It didn't make it to the recycling yet.
crap. Somebody grab the deck.
It's like a used pizza box. They're like, this was dinner last night.
Dude, I would accept a deck of Destiny from a pizza box.
This is your destiny. So the Harrowing Three send Drewston and Raven out to collect materials to make this very fancy case for the Deck of Destiny. During this time, Drewston and Raven are plotting against the Norns. They're gathering their own allies, including a dude named the Prince of Wolves, and they are waiting for a moment when they can take the deck for their own. They call themselves the Unmatched because they're like, we are the masters of our fate. We're not like gonna be stuck in this timeline. So they're not matched to a fate. Is kind of where we are.
Okay. So you have the people who tried to fix things in the past, the Norns trying to fix the timeline, and then these guys who are like, I'm gonna make my own timeline with blackjack and hookers.
I mean, essentially, they're like, great, but what if we fix the timeline to have it be all profit for us?
So
is essentially where we're at.
It's the billionaires.
It is.
This is the worst timeline.
This is the worst.
So where we start then, so we have these two groups right now. So the Harrowing Three are about to do their reading with the Deck of Destiny. The Unmatched are planning to steal it at just the right moment so they can seal their own fates with power, glory, typical baddie stuff, you know. The Unmatched go for the deck, but like, let's remember, these are ancient fae people. They're not like, oh no, somebody came for me. Like, they got stuff. So they're not completely defenseless. So even though they're not expecting a betrayal, they cut all the ties between the cards. So like, as a deck, it functions together.
Yeah.
So they basically sever all the magic that connects the cards and then scatter all 54 cards across Golarion, and they each land somewhere that's unknown to the Norns or the Unmatched.
I do want to say it is a little bit, it doesn't give them a lot of credibility when they couldn't see the betrayal coming.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's why they have to fix the prophecies, okay?
if the prophecies would have fixed, we would have saw this betrayal coming.
Yes, exactly.
Curse your...
Argument 1 for creating a fixed destiny. Okay, so the cards, whoop, gone. All over the world. The Unmatched are not expecting that, so they're like, aw, dang. So they like flee because they're like, well, we're not gonna like fight these dudes. We weren't planning on this. We need to regroup.
Yeah.
The cards are scattered to places or people of great mystical power and potential. Some are drawn to regions or individuals whose themes match the cards. Others show up in really unexpected places, and in a few cases with individuals who themselves are fated to play key roles in continuing the story. Dun dun dun, this is our playing party.
Yeah, I wonder who that could be.
Rodney, we're going to be key players.
Oh, boy.
Maybe. So the cards land with people. So this is where the adventure path picks up and where like the player's guide gives some information. So each character starts with a card. Each card has a latent ability that you get when it's invested, and then also an ability that you can activate. So everybody starts off with like one cool thing that they can do depending on the card in their possession. Throughout the campaign, spoiler, we're going to go look for cards. We're going to find more, and you can have 5 in your hand at a time and have all of the latent abilities of each card in your hand.
That's cool.
And the party can move them around between each other. You're not stuck with the card that you start with. You can move them around if it makes more sense. Or if you're the GM, like me, you would hand people cards that make more sense for them as players. Just a thought.
Why would you even do that?
It's like you thought this through.
Sam might have had me buy the Pathfinder 2e Haro deck.
I had the thought, so 54 cards in the Haro is more than in a tarot, because I do have a tarot deck upstairs. Oh, the reason why I got so excited about this, because I had a tarot deck in high school and would do like fake readings and whatnot. And so then I read this adventure path and I was like, oh my gosh, this is everything that teenage Samantha would have wanted to do. So that was my nerd connection to this AP.
I like
I'm really
it.
excited about.
Yeah, I think in the player or in something it said, if you didn't have one, you can just use a normal 54 card deck. And
you'd have to do weird things with it. So the Haro is 6 suits. So like you'd have to like my original thought was like, could I make this in Canva? And then I was like, oh, this would take a while. And then I was like, Pathfinder has to have created one of these. And then they did, and it was on sale. Okay, so that was all the backstory.
Okay.
So now we're actually going to do things with these characters that now have cards in their possession.
Cool.
I do love the thorough backstory, though. So that is a point in Stolen Fate's favor.
Yeah.
Well, and they have to like give it to you because you learn all of that information as you go through, but it's like you're rolling knowledge checks and you're talking to people. And so I think from the high level, it's just easier to understand if we just name everything at the beginning.
Yeah.
Rather than like, and then side cut over here while I explain what this thing is that
Smash
you just encountered.
cut too.
Right. So book 1 is called The Choosing. Chapter 1 is called Luck of the Draw.
Ooh.
I also just like the titles and stuff. I thought they did a good job.
Yeah.
So the party all starts, they've come into possession of a single card from the deck of Destiny, and it came with a vision that shows a single shop in Absalom's Grand Bazaar.
Okay.
So the big shopping area in Absalom.
Yep.
It gives them a vision. It tells you what cards they start with, so you know what they are. So, I mean, I can name them, but you don't have to remember these. So the starting cards are the Brass Dwarf, the Empty Throne, the Paladin, and the Rabbit Prince if you have 4. If you have 6, then you can add in the Locksmith and the Mountain Man. These Haro cards are not the same as like what's in a tarot deck.
Yeah,
They're completely made up for Pathfinder.
It's legally distinct tarot.
Yes. So the shop in Absalom that everybody has a vision of is called 3 Moves Ahead. And that's the only information that they get from the vision. It's just this shop and then the feeling that something bad is going to happen, which hopefully is compelling enough that the party is like, yes, we should go check that out.
We'll see.
Right? I'm sure it's fine. And there's like a compulsion with the card too. So there's some magical like push for you. So in Absalom, there is a harrower named Hayek is how I'm going to pronounce this.
Okay.
It is spelled Hajeck, and I'm assuming that the J is a H sound.
Hayek.
Yeah, it sounds because Hajic seems.
Yeah,
Hajic.
That didn't sound right.
Awkward.
So I'm thinking we're going to call her Hayek.
Cool.
Is where I'm going for. But if anyone has any other thoughts on how to pronounce this lady's name, feel free to let me know. As a point of note, that's very important. She formerly worked in a carnival.
Was it the I already can't remember, the Circus of Wonders?
No, it's not. But I just thought after we talked about that, like that carnival came up as soon as I started reading, and I was like,
son of a gun.
Is this the only plot device we know in Pathfinder? A carnival.
It's the same writer who's like
former carny.
Steve, you really like carnivals. It's like, look.
And she owns the game store 3 Moves Ahead.
Nice.
So she's had experience with a Harrowed deck called the Deck of Harrowed Tales. So when a card from the Deck of Destiny shows up in her shop, she knows that it's not from any deck she's seen, and she can tell that it's powerful, so she's very intrigued. So she starts to magically investigate the card in her possession, and she has the vision. And as she's investing in this card and magically checking it out, it resonates out to other cards in the region, which cause the players to feel pulled to the Grand Bazaar in Absalom. Nice. So she's done something, and that's kind of where they play in. Hayek also detects another card that's close by with another seller of wares in the Grand Bazaar. His name is Dyrol, and he owns the Harrow Barrow, which is a magical cart.
That's a funny name. Welcome to the Harabara.
I know. It's just funny. So he has this little like cart that he pushes around and sells stuff out of.
Nice.
So she knows that there's a card with him, and then she can also detect that the players are here with cards. But she feels that the players are coming to her, so she waits for them in her shop. Ultimately, that is a poor choice for Hayek because the Unmatched, our baddies, are out there looking for cards. Drustin has dispatched his second in command, a man named Varniv the Butcher, which doesn't sound great, to the bazaar to track down the cards there while he goes after something else in Varisia. So the Butcher sends 2 devils to 3 moves ahead. The devils arrive at 3 moves ahead before the players.
Damn it.
Torture Hayek into giving them information, but she's a baddie, and I mean the good kind of baddie this time. And she doesn't give anything up, so she doesn't tell them anything about the deck, anything that she suspects. But unfortunately, they do kill her.
No.
They're searching the shop for the card when the party shows up.
So you could say they were 3 moves ahead.
Ooh, there it is, folks.
Wah, wah.
I'm putting on my sunglasses.
The Who starts, or yeah.
So the party shows up to the shop, and their first encounter is fighting off some devils, right? So presumably they'll win. And then they're left with Hayek's dead body in a game shop. Sounds like an episode of Clue here. Remembering we're all 11th level at this point.
Yeah.
So like probably could have magical ways to question a dead person, can get information in other ways. So theoretically, they can figure out from the scene here that there's another card with Dyril at the Harrowbarrow.
So did the devil steal her card?
No.
Oh.
They did not find it, so presumably you have murdered the devils. They don't have the card because you have their bodies too.
Yeah.
So there's also a map that Hayek was working on before the devils showed up. So the players can also look at the map, determine that it's a map of Absalom, and it basically shows where the cards are. So she's tracked what's where. So they find the vision. So they find her card, add it to their deck, and then the goal becomes finding Dyril and his card in the bazaar, but he has a magical cart that moves around, so he's not in a set position. So players have to go to different locations to try to figure out where he is.
Okay.
And you can like build some rapport with the different shopkeepers in the bazaar to do that, and you'll get like bonuses and stuff while you're in Absalom with them. You do have a fixed amount of time to find him before the Butcher does, because again, the devils were sent by the Butcher didn't come himself, so he's still looking for him in that card. But assuming that you find all the information about where he is by gathering information and questioning people, you figure out that he is in a hideout, which is an abandoned forge for horse items called Stirrup and Barding. I'm like, I didn't realize they made like specific forges for horse things, but then I was like, oh yeah, shoes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Shoes, horse armor.
It's fine.
Horse bits.
Oh yeah, those are metal too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lots of things. So anyway, the party heads there. Dyril is there and sufficiently freaked out because he has a card in his possession that's been giving him like visions of being pursued, and he doesn't know who's after him. So he like is a little bit worried that the party is after him first and is like, this is terrible. Also, sidebar, the card that he has is the Carnival. Like it just kept showing up, and I was like, why are there so many carnivals?
Maybe Extinction Curse was the curse of being followed by carnivals and carnies the rest of our podcast.
That we were cursed by it. It's unfortunate. So the party shows up. They're like, oh no, we're trying to help you. And he's like, oh, thank goodness. But before anybody can really relax, the Butcher shows up.
Of course.
Dramatically with assassins. Big fight. That presumably the party wins, I hope. So after defeating the Butcher and the assassins, then Dyril hands over his card to the PCs. He's like, please, I don't want it. Like, you seem way more equipped for this. Goodbye. If the party keeps the Butcher alive, they might figure out that he works for Drustin at this point. If they kill him, they might not. Dyril can tell them a little bit more about like Harrow cards because he is familiar with Harrow, or of the visions he's had of 3 individuals pursuing him. Dun dun dun.
Bum, bum, bum.
So he's Also tells him that he's tried to sell and give up the card, but always keeps returning to him and like popping up. Notably, it does not return to him when he hands it over to the PCs. So he feels better.
It found its buddies.
Yes,
its other
it's
cards.
like, oh good, I'm with my friends. And that's the end of chapter 1.
Nice.
A jaunt through Absalom. You get some cards. You get to like figure out combat with your friends, and way too many references of carnivals. So there you go.
Or some would say not enough.
Or not enough. I don't know. We'll see if there are more.
There's only 2 that I heard of.
Yeah, there could this campaign already should have more carnies in it.
Well, just you wait. We might find more. All right, so chapter 2, Scattered Stories. All right, so when Dyril hands over the carnival, the players now have 1 card from each of the 6 suits in the deck.
Okay.
Which is important because that prompts a big vision for everybody. The vision is of a new reality, or a demiplane, called the Harrow Court. This appears as an inviting land with a small village and a castle, and the PCs all intuitively know that by bringing the cards together, it has created this reality, and they intuitively know how to enter it.
Oh. So it's a vision of a real place.
Yes. You might call this a base
Ooh.
for your party.
I like it.
Because it is. So it's intended to be home base for the party moving forward. And they learn that gathering more cards can help them build out the demiplane. So it's like, great, you have your original suit, 1 from each, and you have the blueprints base, and then you can build onto it as you get more cards and power. So they can explore the court as part of downtime exploration. And then as they gain cards, the court grows and becomes more inviting, more people in the village, the buildings look more grand. Everything starts to like look nicer. So you can spend some time building up the Harrow Court as your home base.
Like it. Does it have a carnival? Does the carnival card create a circus?
It doesn't.
Well, what are we doing here?
Well, I don't know. You're creating reality for what you want.
Yes.
So I guess if it was in your desires to have a carnival here, then maybe you do.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. All right. So presumably the party then goes to the Harrow Court as you are supposed to. In the castle, they will find there are 6 arches, which are actually portals. There is 1 arch per suit in the deck, so that's why there's 6. And each portal will take the party to a different region that has a card. So when they enter for the first time, the portals currently lead to 6 different cards. The Big Sky, the Juggler, the Trumpet, the Snakebite, the Silent Hag, and the Theater. And the rest of this chapter is tracking down the cards in each of those regions. So this is the fun part that I find about this adventure path, because you go a bunch of places, but it feels like there is a really good reason to be in a bunch of random places. Like, I feel like that's my complaint about some adventure paths, where it's like, okay, we went to this place, but like, other than just to go somewhere, why did we have to like go to like this far place of the world?
Yeah.
So these 6 cards take you to places such as the Big Sky takes the party to the Deadshot lands in Arcadia.
Ooh.
The Juggler takes the party to the Turwa Uplands in the Mwangi Expanse.
Nice.
The Trumpet takes them to Open Bridge, a land in southern Vudra, which we've never talked about or been to.
I think Vudra... Rodney, is that the Impossible Lands?
It might be.
I am blanking off.
Vudra.
Yeah.
I think it's the Impossible Lands, but I could be wrong.
So then the Snakebite...
Yeah, Impossible Kingdoms.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job, Tyler. Hero point for that. You'll
like
need it later.
It's like I host a podcast about the lore of Golarion.
Shocking. So do I. Didn't know where it was. It was fine. The Snakebite, we go to Tian Sha. The Silent Hag, we go to Iobaria, which is east of Brevoy. And then the Theater takes you to an opera house in Cheliax.
Nice.
So obviously each of those places has like their own combat. You have to navigate it. You have to find the card. You have to get the card.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into what each task is in those places, but presumably you're successful in getting the cards. If the party isn't successful, there are mechanics for like how they can still get the cards. But yeah, so that's chapter 2.
Nice.
Pretty straightforward. Chapter 3 is called Queen of the Storval Stairs. The next batch of cards, the 6 arches, send the players two are in Varisia. So, remembering back to our backstory information, remember Aerodeath?
Aerodeath. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Ew.
So, after failing at all the prophecy making and disbanding the Harbingers, she leads the Band of Blades, the mercenary company. The Band of Blades has become increasingly more broke, and Aerodeath has had to figure out how they can stay afloat and make money. So, back to Varisia, Aerodeath has headquartered the Band of Blades at the Storval Stairs and is extorting tolls from travelers. If you're not familiar, the Storval Stairs connect the Storval Plateau to the Varisian lowlands, and the stairs are the only way between the two.
Okay.
Unless you have great magical means of travel. But if you have to just walk on foot, you have to use the stairs. They were originally constructed during the time of ancient Thassalon by giants. So all the chambers and rooms can accommodate giants. So it's a huge architectural thing. In the current day, the stairs are maintained by the Shawanti, but they have lost control of them several times over the centuries, including now when the Band of Blades has taken control. Those jerks.
Started from the top, and now we're here.
Yes. So in this area, the Band of Blades have 3 cards. The Shawanti also have a card.
Oh.
So the party kind of pops in at the Shawanti camp. Hey! And they pretty easily get the Shawanti card. They basically show up, talk to the tribe leader, and she just hands it over and elicits their help to expel the mercenary band from the stairs. She's like, cool, you look like you're supposed to have this. Also, can you get rid of those dudes? Excellent. Thank you. So from here, the party works their way up the stairs. There's various conflicts. They also meet a band of harpies for fun times. That's like a political thing that's happening there. And then they collect 2 cards from like the boss at each level of the stairs. At the top of the stairs, the party does find Aerodeath, who they don't actually fight. She's an old lady at this point. She's also more interested in the cards than being like adversarial. So she does give information on Drustin, though, because she knew him from his Harbinger days. She offers the card in her possession if the party helps her confront Drustin. She does not like him, spoiler alert. The players could also like diplomacy her into giving up control of the stairs at this point. Obviously, you got to roll some good checks for that.
Yeah.
But you can get a card, get some info, and solve a problem
There
all
you
in
go.
one fell swoop. And then, dun dun dun, Drustin shows up with devils
Oh, shoot.
and 2 cards.
Oh dear.
If yeah, right. He was like, I heard you talking shit about me, Aerodeath.
Surprise, mother effers.
Right. So if the party can overcome him, then they can get his cards too. And then by the end of this chapter and book 1, then they have a third of the deck of destiny.
Oh, dang. Okay, so, it's like you get a third of the deck every book.
Oh, Tyler could math.
Whoa.
And it's
That
also
would take
like,
until the end of the campaign to figure that out.
Wait a second. There were only 3 books.
there's also 3 bad guys in the Unmatched. So it's like you
Ooh.
might have to do 1 each book as well.
Ba, ba, ba. Perfect.
3 is a magic number.
I like it.
All right, so ready to go to book 2?
Dang, we're flying. I love it.
I know. I feel like
Yeah.
I gave so much backstory to make it make sense, and then the actual chapters are like not that crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like, here's all of the information to help you understand why any of this is happening.
It's okay. We just front loaded it.
Kind of perfect
Right.
though. Yeah, that's I like the APs being clean cut, and you can kind of put in what you want to put in if there's room for it. So that's perfect.
That's what I liked about this too, is kind of there seems to be room where you can put in backstories. Obviously, you go to a ton of places, so I feel like the party can be from anywhere really, and then hopefully you can, connect it back to characters when you visit those places too. So I think there's a lot of cool things that you can add into it, which is also why I was like, oh, this sounds fun to run. I love when there's structure, but then I can add things to it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So book 2 is called Destiny War.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun. Chapter 1, The Battle of Harrow Court.
What? Your
I
base
know.
is already
Ooh.
getting taken over?
I know. We already have to defend the home base. All right. So, fresh from their victories in the previous book, the players all return to the Harrow Court, only to discover that the spirit of Hayek, who was murdered at the beginning of this campaign, has arrived in the demiplane, resurrected by the deck of destiny. And she warns them that there's a coming invasion, one that will arrive in the form of a demonic horde. She also tells the party that allies are coming, but it'll be too late to help in the attack.
Thanks for letting us know.
Like, get prepared, help is coming, but not quite quick enough. So the Prince of Wolves, who is one of the Unmatched, sends his troops to seize control of the realm. The Prince of Wolves has several cards in his possession, and he has learned that they can augment reality. So how the PCs have built out the Harrow Court as they've gained cards. He wants more cards to improve his fortress in the Abyss.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's like, I only have a few cards. I've only been able to make a couple of renovations. I really need more so that I can make more renovations down here.
He shows up and he's like, look, I got a first edition Charizard. I see you have a Raichu. What do we...
Let's talk trade.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's not trading. He's just taking it.
Well...
Sorry.
You guys got 6 hot tubs. I only have 1 and there's no water in it. So how do we...
It's an empty tub.
So there is enough time. The players can take defensive actions so they can do a little bit of prep, but then they do have to defend against several waves of attack from the creatures that the Prince of Wolves send. He does not come to the invasion. He's just directing it from the Abyss.
He's too busy in his 6 hot tubs.
Yes.
No, it's 1 hot tub. His sad hot tub.
He's too
He
busy
only has 1.
crying about how he only has one.
Trying to fill his hot tub with tears.
So presumably, again, the players defend the Harrow Court and are not overrun. So there you go. You don't lose the base.
Nice. Good.
Theoretically, you murder or whatever, all the creatures and things. And then an unexpected visitor shows up who invites the group to Katapesh to form an alliance with the Packmasters. I know.
I'm sorry, what? How did... Sir, how did you get in here?
I have my ways.
Because everybody on Earth has these cards. They're like all over.
Oh, okay. So he should...
So there are cards in Katapesh,
Yeah.
and the Prince of Wolves has also attempted an invasion of Katapesh to get their cards too.
Okay.
So the witch words in Katapesh have reached out and hope that an alliance will further deter the prince from invading them again.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the players can make a deal. The witch words say that there are further cards in the ruins of Ko, which is outside of Katapesh. They want the party to go on a diplomatic mission to get the cards to keep them from the Prince of Wolves. Successfully making the deal puts the party in possession of 2 more cards. Like the Packmasters basically are like, look, we don't really need these, but we definitely don't want him to have them. So we'll give you our cards if you also then go retrieve these cards so he'll stop attacking us.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we've done that. That's chapter 1. And then chapter 2, on to Ko. Because chapter 2 is called The Cards of Ko.
Where's Ko?
Outside of Katapesh.
Ah, okay.
I will explain exactly what Ko is now that we are in chapter 2, and my notes talk about it. So the Packmasters point the characters to the ruins of Ko, which was once a great flying city of the Shori Empire.
Ah, there it is.
There you go. Several cards from the Deck of Destiny have appeared in this lost city. So presumably, if the party's cool with it, they pop off to the ruins. They arrive in this ancient place, and really you can go through the ruins. You don't have to battle your way through the whole thing. You can cut deals. You can use whatever skills you want. However, minions of the Prince of Wolves are also targeting Ko, mostly with less diplomatic skills. So you do have to navigate that. There are minions of the Prince of Wolves running around too. So you can take the cards by force. You can, battle things or whatever, but you can also use diplomacy and cooperation to complete it too. Just depends on your party, I guess. Essentially, this chapter is a giant dungeon crawl through the city. There's a bunch of encounters. We've got oozes, phantoms. Oh my. And there are 5 cards in this area that we can collect in total. What I liked about this chapter when I was reading it is there's a lot of varied environments across the city to navigate. or to do combat in if you're not a sneaky person. So it's just like a lot of cool scenarios that you might not typically find. So I think that no matter like what your party's style is, different people get a chance to shine, which is fun. And then the chapter ends with the players being called back to Harrow Court because Hayek has figured out how the prince broke into the court in the first place.
Ooh. Does he have... Wait. So cards don't give you just a free key into the Harrow Court?
So you don't know how he got in. So we know meta why he wanted the cards, but at this point in time, the players didn't know how he got in because they were under the assumption that like their cards together created this place. So they don't know if it's like, oh, if anybody has a card, they can pop in or not. They aren't sure. But Hayek has figured out the answer while the party has been gone.
Okay.
So then on to chapter 3, the Harrow Realm.
Oh, we're going from a court to a realm, Rodney.
It gets bigger.
It's
Phrasing? Okay. So we're going to do sidebar background here because it is sort of relevant. All right. So the background for this is from a PF1 module called The Harrowing.
Okay.
So remember I briefly talked about Hayek and the deck of Harrowed Tales, which was the deck that she was familiar with. Surprise, now it's relevant. Within that deck existed a demiplane known as the Harrowed Realm. So like the thought is that these really powerful decks create their own demiplane.
Okay.
So the deck that she had, it was the Harrow Realm. And this place was created by Hayek's ancient ancestor, Sonoray. Sonoray hoped to achieve immortality by living forever within the Harrowed Realm. You know, okay.
I mean, you know.
But over time, the stories she collected and populated into the realm rebelled against her. So if you'll remember when we talk about the Harrow Court, like there's a castle, there's a village, there are quote unquote people, but they aren't real. They're created by magic, right? So these stories come to life, kind of, are called storykin. So in the Harrowed Realm that Sonoray created, the greatest one that she created was a blue dragon called Zasrion. And he and his other conspirators conspired against and defeated Sonoray. And he became the leader of the Harrowed Realm. Only to discover that he can't leave because he's not real.
The ultimate disappointment.
Right? He's like, I'm not a real dragon. But what he could do, though, was to manipulate and dominate anybody who carried the deck of Harrowed Tales. So recently, he did that to Hayek soon after she inherited the deck. And under his control, Hayek lured and trapped a lot of people into the Harrowed Realm, where they met grisly fates as Zasrion grafted the reality of their bodies onto his own so that he could hopefully escape into the material plane.
Don't like that.
Doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
So the dragon's plot was foiled by adventurers in that PF1 module, which then released Hayek from his control. So then, eager to restart her life and put all of this unfortunate episode behind her, she pursued a new life in Absalom and owned a game shop, only to meet her tragic fate at the start of this campaign.
Man, what a kick in the teeth. Got possessed by a dragon and murdered in a game shop.
Womp womp.
It's not a great retirement.
Yeah. So Hayek didn't want anything to do with the deck of Harrow Tales after she was in this forced servitude to this storykin dragon. She couldn't destroy the deck because it was beyond her skill, also beyond the skill of the adventuring party in that module. But she did welcome their offer to take it off her hands.
Yeah.
She was like, well, I don't want it. Unfortunately, as sometimes happens to adventuring parties, this group eventually got in over their heads, and in time, the deck of Harrowed Tales found its way into the clutches of a truly dangerous expert on the Harrow, the Prince of Wolves.
Ah, freaking Prince of Wolves.
Yeah. Okay, so
there he is again.
So he used his demiplane to invade your demiplane,
Oh
and
my
then
gosh,
it was
spoilers.
sorry.
Tyler.
the war of demiplanes.
A little bit, yeah. So then, back to the present, Hayek has discovered that the Prince of Wolves used the Harrowed Realm as a bridge to invade the Harrow court.
Wait, so how did the guy from Katapesh get in there? Or did you leave the court and then he showed up?
He sends a messenger. Like, he didn't show up. It's like a magical messenger. Like,
okay.
hey, dudes, want to chat? Like, because the cards kind of speak to each
That's
other.
fair. Okay.
So he sent like a magical, like, hey, buddies, come check out Katapesh, and then the portals open and you go to Katapesh.
He has his own Harrowed deck called the Harrowed Cottage.
Oh,
The Harrowed Bed and Breakfast.
I would go there. That sounds good to me. So Prince of Wolves used his powerful deck to make a bridge to invade your court. So now that the party knows that, though, now they can use the Harrow Realm to travel to the Abyss and take the fight to the Prince of Wolves.
Nice.
Dun dun dun. So the cool thing here is that the cards already in possession of the party link to places in the Harrowed Realm. So each Harrowed deck has the same like card titles, right? It's like everybody's using the same like type of deck.
Yeah.
It's just like the art that's different. Like the decks are unique, but like the properties are the same, right? So the cards that you have, you can use to be transported to the corresponding place in the Harrowed Realm by focusing on the card.
Okay, that makes sense.
So then this chapter is all about traversing the Harrowed Realm. You have encounters with creepy creatures. You get to use the carnival to go to that corresponding place.
The carnival!
The important plot point here, though, is that you meet Hayek's ancestor, Sonare, who, as you'll recall, was taken out by the dragon, but then she was brought back to life by a group of Velstrax.
No!
And by life, I mean they made her into a Velstrac.
Oh.
It's real gross.
Rodney, do you remember what the Velstrax are?
Vaguely. I would need a refresher though.
Those are basically the like torture demons that Nidal worships.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's awful. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's like Reapers from Firefly, kind of.
That or Ravagers, and then the
that's what I meant.
What's
Ravagers.
it? Pinhead from the horror movie.
Yeah. So not great for her. She doesn't remember the deck or who she was before. So eventually the party finds her in possession of a card from the deck of destiny. And this encounter can either be talked through or fought through, but does have the opportunity to get an artifact that's helpful in finding the prince. So do with that what you will. And that concludes chapter 3. You have hopefully found that artifact that then will get you to the last part of the way.
Nice.
So then on to chapter 4, the Wolves' Den.
Ooh.
The characters arrive in the Abyss. Yay!
There we go.
So we are in the Midnight Isles in the former home of Nocticula before she ascended.
Yeah.
And then it's a dungeon crawl to get to the prince.
Okay.
With some obstacles, of course. This chapter is pretty short. It focuses on a couple of environmental things to be able to navigate the prince's fortress, and then ultimately it's just a fight with the Prince of Wolves. If the party wins, they get all of the prince's card. So presumably they do.
And
then
their one sad hot tub.
and the one sad hot tub. So Tyler, how many cards should we have at this point? You can use the fraction. We're at the end of the second
divided
book.
by 3.
I just was
Two-thirds.
2/3 was the answer I was
gonna
looking
say,
for.
I'm like, the number is math.
You were just so excited about 1/3.
A 1/3.
One book. 2
You
books.
threw me off when you're like, how many cards? I'm
2/3.
like, shit, I don't know, man. Look, I may be an engineer, but I have a computer do all my math for me.
That's the real smart thing to do, though. All right, so we have 2/3 of the deck of destiny at this point. The party can also take possession of the
36 if you're wondering at home.
Thanks. I was thinking
You're still thinking like I can't do it. I can't do the math.
I can see it on your face. You're like, what is it though?
Right, he's just like, what is? Like, how the hell do you divide 54 by 3? I know it works.
Everybody listening, please tell us how long it took you to figure out what 2/3 of 54 was. Oh. We'll have a test.
There you go.
Okay, so anyway, you can take possession of the deck of Harrowed Tales from the prince's body. If you take it, you can return it to Sonore because she was the original owner of it. If you do, she transforms back into who she was as a person.
Oh.
So no more Velstrak.
Yay.
Yay. And also all of the storykin there chill out. They aren't creepy anymore. They're just nice little stories rather than angry ones. And also because then you defeated the prince, you now have ongoing allies in Ko and Katapesh.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, book 2. How are we feeling?
I like it. I think I would homebrew the Abyss to actually be a creepy carnival, though.
the whole thing.
I think it needs more carnivals.
Like creepy clown music playing the whole time when they get there, and there's like just clown stuff.
I don't like that. So you're like creepy carnival things. It's all clowns. Oops, all clowns.
There's clowns and elephants and other.
That's the worst timeline.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I feel like this is a cool, like, you're going all different places, but there's like a reason. Yeah,
I didn't find anything in here that made me go, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And that to me is like the highest compliment for an adventure path.
Well, I think it just lends itself to the 3-book adventure where like you don't have to shovel in you need to get from 10 to 14. So we're just going to shovel you to somewhere. Like the 3-book adventure just makes it easy to. Yeah.
But even like, I feel like this could have been a longer one had they wanted to.
Yeah.
But I'm like, with the motivation of like, you're collecting cards, like there's still a reason for you to be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think that just like, I don't know, it's a clear thread through the whole thing that makes it make sense.
Yeah, I think the closest it gets is when you get like the random message that's like, come to Ko, because a more suspicious group might be like, this is a trap. No.
Sure.
And you're like, no, it's just go. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little bit longer of a conversation and things. And like, I think it even gives like, if the party attacks the messenger or whatever, like what happens. So I glossed over it, but you could be an untrusting party and there's still a way through it and it's fine.
You kill them anyway.
There you go. All right. On to book 3.
Book 3.
All right. Book 3 is called Worst of All Possible Worlds.
Oh, the worst timeline.
Yes. Here we go. Chapter 1 is called All Is Lost.
No.
Starting out on a high note.
Titles. Yeah.
Right? So we only have 18 cards left to find, though.
Yay.
But unfortunately, all of the magical ways to do so reveal nothing. And the arches that have been portals before are just cloudy. No locations. So, whoops. But then, as everyone's hanging out in the Harrow Court, wondering what will we do now, a mysterious person called the Traitor arrives. And I'm saying trader, like with a D, not traitor with a T.
Dang.
The Traitor.
Someone announces themselves. I'm going to betray you.
My name is the Traitor. You can trust me.
And the Traitor is actually a storykin from the Deck of Destiny. So we learn that the remaining cards have manifested into a physical representation and are walking around the world, which is why we haven't been able to locate them, because they aren't objects anymore. They are created beings now.
That's going to be hard to shove them into the Nike box.
It's going to have to be real small.
Get in the box, Trader.
So the Trader offers to sell the party a map that shows where the rest of the storykin cards are. There are a few ways for the party to get the map so they can move on, like, because he offers a ridiculous price and you can like talk him down and negotiate with them and the whole 9 yards.
Kill him.
Yeah, so I guess you could fight him. They return to like their card form if you beat them. So, yes, but you don't have to necessarily.
You're gonna have to knock these people out before they fit back in that box.
So, in some fashion, the party gets the map. And then the rest of this chapter sends the party after the Storykin cards. So we get to go to more fun places.
Nice.
So we get to go to Central Avestan, to Drosker's Crag, which is in the High King's Mountains, I believe.
Okay, so dwarves.
Yes, to find the card, the Avalanche.
Nice.
And it's so they all like appear as like different types of like representations of things. So some of them are like actually creatures, which makes sense. But like the avalanche like appears as like a pile of rocks. It's just funny. And then we get to go to the Dragon-bound Archipelago in Southwest Arcadia to locate 3 cards: the crows, the peacock, and the winged serpent. And then we get to go to the Desert of Storms in Central Casmaron to find the Cricket, the Inquisitor, the Teamster, and the Wanderer. And then we get to go to a remote isle in Aslant to find the Eclipse. We get to go somewhere near Lake Akota in Garund.
Oh, no.
To find the Courtesan, the Queen Mother, and the Unicorn. And then we get to go to Goka in Tian Sha.
Yes.
And find the Dance, the Fool, the Joke, and the Twin.
Dang.
Yeah.
This is like all over Golarion.
Oh, yeah. Which is, this was fun.
Yeah.
And, like, we might nerd out about it a little bit because we're doing a whole podcast about different places in Golarion. But I was like, oh, this is neat that you get to see all the different areas.
I was going to say, this is like perfect for Tabletop Travel Guide to be like, we play these and we go all these places.
Yeah.
So we have all the cards, right?
I wasn't keeping track.
Not quite. Just as we think we are gathering the final cards, Raven, Nicoletta, the third of the Unmatched, who we haven't seen yet, arrives to steal them away.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wait, the vulture.
And that is why chapter 1 is entitled All is Lost. So chapter 2.
What?
Oh, yeah. She
takes all 3/3 of the deck.
All 3/3.
I think we're at like 52, maybe.
So what she does is she takes like the essence of all of the cards. So the players are left with like a physical card that's not like doing a whole lot. So you still have its latent ability, but you can't activate it. So you still have kind of your spoils of war, but they aren't working like they're supposed to. And she has like the essence of the deck. So chapter 2 starts in the land of Norns is what it is called. So the ripple of power that goes out after Raven steals the deck from the players attracts the attention of a new NPC and ally named Zelara Esmeralda.
Ooh, that's a fun name.
Yes. She is the ghost. Another ghost. Here we go. And the ghost of Raven's former teacher. So Zelara is an expert on the Harrow. She actually originally appeared in Curse of the Crimson Throne.
Oh.
Where, spoiler, she died. That's why she's a ghost now.
Fair.
It's fine. So she came back from the Boneyard to stop Raven because she feels guilty that she taught her the Harrow in the first place.
Oh.
She's like, dang, the student just went out and did whatever she wanted and it's bad things. Unfortunate. So Zelara is basically here to share key information about Raven and also where the players can find her. But before the party can go after Raven, the Harrowing 3, remember our Norn ladies from the beginning, snatch up Zelara's spirit and send their own messenger asking the players to meet them at their treehouse.
What?
You want to come hang out at my treehouse?
Like, it's literally their house that's a tree, though. I'll explain.
Okay, so like the Norns are Keebler elves. They live in a tree.
That makes them a lot cuter than they are. So some backstory on the Norns. They came from the First World during the Age of Legends.
Oh, man.
They brought a seed with them from the Fey World, and they planted it in Golarion. The seed grows into their home, and it is called the Tree of Answers. And it's like a 300-foot tree.
Oh,
and
dang.
That's what they live in. So that's the treehouse that they have invited you to.
I'm cool with that.
Or like, I don't know, forcibly suggested because they're like, great, we stole your spirit lady.
We kidnapped the other ghost.
You want to come to our house? Let's chat. So basically, like, the Norns can still divide enough of what's going on and will go on to see the players coming to them. So they think that the players will help them get the deck back together so they can achieve their original goal, which is why they're inviting everybody to chat. So now it's off to a place that we have not been yet in 54 cards.
The land of the Lenorm Kings.
You're really close. Where else would we go for witch ladies?
Irison.
We're going to Irison.
Nice.
To the giant tree. So essentially you pop into Irison and then you have to work your way up the tree, collecting magical objects to break the seal to the hall where the Norns are.
They don't just invite you in?
Like, I guess you
They
have to, like,
invite you there.
prove.
You gotta find your own way in.
Yeah, there's, like, obstacles and, like,
Right,
creatures
before
that
the
you have to,
house.
like, navigate to get there.
I'm going to do that when people come over to visit. Be like, I invited you to my
Yeah, I was
house.
gonna say, it's the same thing I do. It's like, you gotta find the 16 different things outside the house before you come in.
Can't you just unlock the door? No, you must answer me these riddles 3 before you can
Prove
enter.
that you're worthy to enter
Peeking
my
through the window.
house.
There's 16 things out there. If you find them all, then you can come in. You better hurry up. It's getting dark out there.
This is how a brick got thrown through my window.
You live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that's 1,500 square feet. Why am I working this hard to get inside? So yeah, presumably the party makes their way up the tree and get to the Norns. And the end of this chapter is essentially a debate with the Norns. They want the players to help them get the cards back, but there might be some differing ideas here on fate and destiny that we have to kind of sort out. So the Norns offer to stack the deck in the players' favor, saying the reading that they will conduct would result in fame, money, power, whatever the players want. Like, cool, we're going to set the future, but we'll make sure it's set up for nice things for you if you let us do this. So the debate with them is an activity with points, and then the number of points the party gets determines, like, how the Norns respond. Because presumably at this point, like, the party is pro free will. Now, I guess if you're not, then, like, it's not really a debate. Then you could just be like, cool, yeah, we'll get the deck for you and you can do whatever you want. Like, but the adventure assumes that you're pro free will and not a, like, set future for everyone. So your options kind of land as, if you convince them enough, then they hesitate and they basically say that the party can do whatever they want with the deck. And they release Zalara and her spirit. If you kind of end in the mid-range, they're not convinced, but they're not necessarily hostile. They release Zalara, but they tell you to GTFO, and then they attack you if you linger too long in the tree. Option 3, if you really, really screw it up, you're not convincing, and the Harrowing 3 decide to take the cards by force, and they attack you.
Okay.
The optimal result here is that you don't have to fight and kill the Norns, but if they do kill them, the tree starts to die, and that's kind of sad. If the party agrees with the Norns on destiny, then they'll come back during the final chapter to help with the reading.
Oh, okay. Well,
so it could look slightly different depending on how your party feels about fate and destiny.
I like the idea that these Norns are like reading universe-changing things, and they're like, and also Michael gets a ranch for 16 horses. You know, they're like, the world will continue to spin around the sun. Also, Tabitha has a big mansion.
Right? Like big world breaking or building things. And also
it kind of
clears his throat. Tyler has a talking sword. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we done yet?
It is kind of funny.
You can't keep adding things.
It is kind of funny though, because like the whole thing with the Unmatched is like, we want to use these for fame and fortune. And like,
I know.
That's literally what they're offering you. So you can,
Like, if they had just stuck around and not been dicks about it, they probably would have gotten what they wanted. Like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, guys.
Villains being too dumb to.
Right. These baddies. All right, so that's chapter 2. And we are on to chapter 3, the final chapter in the final book. Chapter 3 is called Reclaiming Fate. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so you get Zolara back, and then it's off to confront Raven before she can do her own reading with all of the cards that she now possesses. Zolara knows where she is, remember. Raven is preparing to do the reading from the library of Sonore. If we'll remember, Sonore is our murdered by a dragon, became a Velstract.
Yep. The Harrowed Realm lady.
Yes. So she created a library in Varissia during the Age of Darkness, because she's that old, as a place for magical research and rituals. So this is where Raven has holed up. So Zolara notes that one thing that the players have in their favor is that the Deck of Destiny seems to cling to them. So the Harrow Court is still standing, and they continue to possess phantom cards. So you can still use your invested abilities from the artifacts as if they're still like fully with you. Says to Zolara that Raven doesn't have complete control over the Deck of Destiny. So that's a plus. So now, if you left on good terms with Sonore, so if you returned the deck of Harrowed Tales to her, you could go visit her to get information about the library. She might be able to like make you a map, like that kind of thing. If you didn't do that, sorry about your luck. So the party goes to the library, which was built on a ley line called the Nexus of Fate. So that's like what's powering up all of this, and like also gives you other obstacles to contend with. So you get to the library. The card that originally appeared to Raven, or was in her possession during the scattering, is called The Betrayal. So this card also transformed into a Harrowkin or a Storykin, like the other cards at the end, and has been working for Raven. However,
The Betrayal.
The card's name is The Betrayal.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Right? So the betrayal's goal is to kill Raven right before she performs the reading so the betrayal can do the reading instead.
What does the betrayal want to do? Get a 6th hot tub.
The betrayal wants to be a real human.
Aw.
I know. I feel kind of bad for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I just want to be a real person. But, you know, murdering people and, you know, doing weird things with.
Yeah, but they're
the
murdering the
Fate
bad guy, so it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So the party shows up to the library. Raven tasks the betrayal with delaying the party so that she can finish getting everything ready and actually do this reading. And then the PCs have to make their way to where Raven is in a place called the Harrowing Room. They have to get past Damon's and the betrayal to do this. We are on a clock too for this, because it's like you only have so much time before Raven's going to do the reading.
Yeah.
So assuming that they are able to navigate this and get into the Harrowing Room, we're at the final boss.
Final
kind of
countdown.
So the players have to defeat some of Raven's minions, Raven, and the betrayal.
Okay.
So the betrayal like kind of like skirts around you in the library and like is annoying, and then like returns to Raven, and so then you have to do your final battle there. So presumably again you defeat everybody, and then you can collect the Deck of Destiny. And while it doesn't do what the Norns intended, it's still a very powerful artifact. So there's a few things that we can do from here to move to conclusion. If your party was like, yeah, I think those Norn ladies like knew what was up, you can return the deck to the Harrowing 3. The Norns would allow the party to observe as they perform the final harrowing, which again isn't gonna like totally set the future, but this kind of like depends on what you guys are thinking. Alternatively, they can attempt to perform the final harrowing themselves, either to try to build a beneficial future for themselves or the allies, or to destroy the deck. If the players don't return the Deck of Destiny to the Norns, though, and they didn't kill them before, they will have to do one final fight with the Norns as they emerge from their tree to confront them when they have the deck. So depending on how things played out and whatever that is. The party could also decide to protect or hide the deck to keep it from anyone else in the future. If they if they can't figure out how to destroy it, but they don't want to use it, like that's an option. What the adventure path assumes that the players will do is figure out that they can destroy the deck by conducting a reading that fates the deck of destiny to be irrelevant. So it's like plot twist, like, okay, we're going to get the cards to say that the cards have no meaning.
Yeah, so I guess canon then, our prophecies still just borked?
Yes. So the canon from here is that yes and no. So you can destroy the deck by doing that reading, but the party has the opportunity to kind of stack the deck during the reading, which could potentially influence the direction of Golarion. But remember, the deck isn't as powerful as the Norns think it is.
Yeah.
So you're not like sealing fate. You're just kind of like putting some vibes out there.
So it's like thoughts and prayers.
Putting some feelers out.
Yeah. It's more so basically like your vibes are kind of in alignment. So like you can put chaotic vibes out into the world. You can put lawful vibes out into the world. You can put
good
some
vibes.
like good yeah, so it's more about like that rather than like saying specific things are going to happen. It's kind of like, what are your intentions?
Yeah. Are you here for the right reasons?
Yeah, a little bit.
That would be interesting to see like a GM kind of decide in the background based on like the overall campaign, how the players played. If you were like, you were overall like kind of evil people. So even though your words are like flowery, you end up putting out like evil vibes out just by using the deck.
Just by like how you've acted up until now.
So the interesting thing is like the players decide.
Yeah.
So like it's a conscious decision. It's not even like, how you've acted before. It's like how you lay the cards out is what determines it. So like at the end, you could have everybody have all the cards out on the table and put them together to do a reading, or you can, just kind of talk about it too.
It's nuts. This reading, I just kept pulling carnivals.
That's the goal. Carnival, front and center. What does that mean?
Upside down carnival.
Right side up carnival. Sideways carnival. How many carnivals are in this deck?
Not
so
enough.
That's the end.
Nice.
Like you get to choose. The fun thing that is like a takeaway from the campaign is now you can use the Haro chosen background for future characters with like the idea that like fate is intervening and like your party can say like, okay, for my next character, like they have this because they've been chosen for the next adventure, which is like just a really cool like flavor thing that I really loved.
Yeah.
Especially for like groups like yours that continue to play with each other, and it's not like a new person every year. Like, oh, this ties back into what we did last AP. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah. And like, because we move from character to character a lot, so it's kind of like fun to, be like, I'm specifically saying this character gets something from my last campaign, which is nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that when it was like you travel to different places to get the cards. It was like you guys having played stuff in the past. If you have living characters in a certain area, you could like sprinkle them in and be like, this familiar character walks by and knocks over a cart or something. And you're like, oh, that was my paladin from
Yeah.
I always love a nice like cameo.
campaign zone.
Yeah. Well, and you could, you could do that, like, because we had our characters in Goka from, Ivaricia from Greg's campaign or whatever. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But no, that's awesome. Yeah. I think that, I think this just goes back. I say I'm a broken record, but the 3-book adventure path was the best thing Paizo ever did.
Yeah, I mean, I love it because nothing feels fluffy or like it needs to be cut. Like for the most part, it all makes sense to have in there.
Yeah. Rodney, would you play this one?
Yeah. I would definitely play it. I would love to play it. I would love to run it because it feels like it's just enough built-in customization where you could really like dive into people's backgrounds and make them have more emphasis with the cards they have. So, and I'm all about that. Like you guys know with how I've been contacting you about your characters and your background and trying to weave them in. That's like right up my alley. So it seems really cool just from hearing hearing Sam's exposition about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I like it.
Yeah, so this is why I was really pumped and like, I want to run it.
After our last one where you're just kind of like, this campaign had some good parts, but like, I wouldn't really play it. Like, it's cool to, again, like, I feel like Paizo has, as they've kind of continued on with their adventures, you know, obviously they're great at them, but like, just as they've gotten past the first couple and kind of got used to the system of 2E, like, have really kind of been branching out and trying really cool things.
Yeah.
It will be interesting though, because it's like, you know, if the canon is it, you know, you effectively destroy the Haro, it still will be interesting if like anything comes out of it in like the next time jump or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if like they'll do anything wider with it, because I think ultimately it keeps it status quo for how things have been here in Golarion. So like things don't change with prophecy. They continue to not work. And again, like the whatever you put out into the universe is kind of like vibes, which could be interpreted in really kind of like any way. And then I guess if you're in a party that's like, no, yeah, that sounds great, let's solidify like, then I don't know, that becomes like a weird alternative timeline, or I'm not really sure how I would handle that part as a GM, because then it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? So like, hopefully everybody's just chaotic enough to be like, yeah, free will sounds good.
Yeah, for sure.
There's always that one player. It's like, no, lock it in.
Yeah.
I want to know what's going to happen. Predictable life would be easier. Oh boy.
Nice. Okay. Well, thanks, Sam, for running or walking us through the spoiler guide for Stolen Fate.
It was a little bit of a sprint at parts, so thanks for keeping up.
Yeah, we got it. Thank you, Rodney, for filling in for Ryan.
Yes, thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
Happier, and thank you, Sam.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you to all of our listeners. You know, a little bit longer of an episode, but obviously we got to jump through a full adventure. So thank you for this. Thank you for joining us on this ride. If you want to reach out to us, hit us up on Instagram, Tabletop Travel Guide, or our email, tabletoptravelguidepodcast@gmail.com. Remember to tell your friends, leave us a rating or review. You can comment on Spotify now, so you can do that. You know, I respond to all those. Let us know what you think of this episode, this campaign. Would you run it? Would you be chaotic, or would you want to go from the golden timeline? So yeah, hit us up, let us know. And thanks again. Until next time, safe travels.